Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in the live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast, brought to you today by TC Paintball, online at tcpaintballgr.com. Rick and I got to get together and plan another paintball event, man. The last one was just spectacular. So much fun. If you are thinking about, you're like, hey, man, I want to go do something fun. Consider that if you are in and around West Michigan, TC Paintball. You got outdoor airball, outdoor tactical village. You've got indoor airball, which it won't be long till that's all we're doing. And he's building like an indoor type of a room clearing thing. There's all these. He's just a mad scientist. It's like, like in video games, video games, you like I want a new map. I want something fresh. He actually builds rooms, and he's right now building an indoor. Oh, it's really great. It's like the type of thing like you're like clearing out corners and things like that, similar to the tactical village, but it's indoors. In fact, if you're one of these wacko militia guys, this is where you'd want to train. Totally kidding. You don't want to do that. Thank you to TC Paintball, online at tcpaintballgr.com. Get a group together, call up Rick from TC Paintball in Grand Rapids and schedule the party. You're like, I didn't want to get hurt. It stings a little. Well, yeah, if you are kind of a wuss, I understand that, but you can get like armor if you're like really, really worried about it. I mean, it hurts for about 15 seconds and then you shrug it off and then you got like a welt, the badge of honor, man. I know people who are like proud of the welts. Are like, look at this one, man. It's right on my tit. Thank you, TC Paintball, online at tcpaintballgr.com. BK Guns and Stuff. They service real guns, not paintball guns. BK Guns and Stuff. Anywhere in the U.S., if your weaponry needs to be serviced, I am asking you to call upon the gunsmiths of the Eric Zane Show podcast, BK Guns and Stuff. If you're in the area where I live, you can just drop it off there at their place in Saranac, Michigan. If you need more information about where they are, go to my website and click on BK Guns and Stuff, the logo, and then it'll take you right to their Facebook page. Has all of their important information, or just call Benjamin at 616-902-2447. Anywhere in the U.S., they can service your weaponry. You're like, how do they do that? Well, you got to mail the gun, and there's some specifics to that. Benjamin will take care of all of that. It is the 21st of October, 2020. The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now.
Yes, hello. Sean Gotti here, coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. And there's not a single radio show around here that's worth a damn. So I'm listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast, coming to you live Monday through Friday. So sit back, get your trays in the upright position, feet and elbows out of the aisle, because here he comes, Eric Zane.
Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate you, buddy. You are spectacular. I appreciate your help. I've got a number of audio bits, intros, that I need to update for the podcast. I know that Kevin in Muskegon has one who sent my way. Thank you. Not to mention Brett State Dirk. Who else is sending one? I'm not sure, but thank you very much. If you want to make an intro, send me your stuff. You can be featured prominently right here on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Show comes to you live every single morning at around 8 a.m. I'm closer to 8 o'clock today, but there's a reason why I was made late. There's always a reason why I was made late. You can catch it live at about this time on Facebook, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Via Periscope video on Twitter, that is brought to you by Blue Frost IT. And on the almighty YouTube, just search Eric Zane Show on YouTube. And you'll be able to find it and then watch. Thank you very much. So there you go. That's how you can get the show live on all of those places. Or just download the show wherever you download podcasts. I post the audio in all the usual spots. or you can get it all at ericzaneshow.com. It's a lot, I know, but I'm on Instagram. That's brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Everything's brought to you by. Everything is a thing. And yes, that's how we survive. I just started on TikTok. What do you have? At Eric Zane Show Podcast. I know it's long, but it's all branding. It's got to be that way. I have 2 videos on TikTok. At Eric Zane Show Podcast on TikTok. I'm up to 40 followers. And you can expect the usual bit of shit like this one.
Awesome. Something else to waste my time. Something else that I can be shitty at. This. Thank God it's limited so that I can cut off my words when it gets so damn boring.
And that's my first video. There's 2 up there. They both suck. I'm still figuring out what I can do to do something creative. It seems like on TikTok, every time I turn around, there's someone there dancing, and then it gets like 50 million views. And it's like, huh? Is that it? Is that all I need to do is just dance like an idiot, and then the entire world is going to watch it? Is that what what is passing off for entertainment these days? All I gotta do is sit there and move like an idiot, and then you're good to go, I guess. So, all right. I have no idea where that's going to take me as everything. I have no idea where anything is going to take me. Okay. We have a lot to get to today. I take that back. It was I had to really dig deep in order to come up with anything to talk about. It was one of those weirdo days yesterday where all of a sudden I was pulled in 5 different directions. So when that happens, the attention goes to those things and not to other things. You know how it is. So, all right. So I'm sitting there yesterday, and my Patreon was late, and then the folks over at Affordable Limousine reached out and said, "Hey, we got a gig for you. You want this job? We got a client who needs to be picked up here, taken there. A little bit of time passes, you got to pick him up again, take him to another spot." And I'm like, "Give me that damn job. Give me that damn job." Put on my gay magician's outfit and headed off down the road. Okay, but then that meant like, oh shit. I got nothing for the show today. And it seems like more and more, okay, that you gotta dig, you gotta work, you gotta put the time in order to have material to talk about. This is no different than a radio show. And I'm not the guy that's just gonna sit there and fabricate shit off the top of my head and make up scenarios and dumb shit like that. I gotta have something legit that I can park on. So I'm laying in bed last night, and I had zilch, nada. Take it back. Dear Meathead happens in about 47 minutes. I will bring on my 86-year-old father. Oh, my God. Just love this guy so much. It was, Dear Meathead, let me get this out of the way, is brought to you by JM Synthetics. And Dad, he's okay. You know he has dementia, and he knows he has dementia, and it's he has a constant vibe of concern off of the podcast. You know, it's always like, I'm worried, this, that, and the other thing. So much worry going on, and I'm always like, Dad, it's okay, I got you. And so, being that we're in this really vulnerable time right now after the passing of my mother, he's very reflective, and it's God, man, I don't know. I just get worried about him so much, but I'm looking forward to talking to him, as I'm sure you are looking forward to hearing him. Yesterday on Facebook, I posted a picture of him when he was like 17 years old and like now. And, he looks like a completely different person, obviously, because he's aged so much. But, he's still handsome as hell. I mean, seriously, you're not supposed to be handsome when you're 86 years old. I'm looking at him right now, and it's like, I've just aged so amazingly. You're just a freaking stud. My gosh. And to see the progression of the man. It's absolutely outstanding. So I'm as always looking forward to talking to Dad. Here's the thing, though. I didn't get a chance to post hey, don't forget about Dear Meathead coming up on Facebook or anything like that until late in the evening. So it wasn't really on anybody's radar. And so I have quite literally one question. One. Mark in Louisiana sent a question along. And I'm lean. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am lean. So if you got something that you want to ask Dad, please send it along. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. Could be about anything at all. Know that if you do send a question about home repair or DIY, oh my God, Jesus! That last time he did it with Jessica, I believe it was Jessica. No, it was Melinda. He just. It just turned into I was like, okay, Dad, let's get it moving. Let's keep it moving. And so many questions, but it's still good. If you want to participate in Dear Meathead, love to hear from you. Eric@ericzaneshow.com, brought to you by JM Synthetics. JM Synthetics, I should say. If you actually want to speak to him on the air, I need to see your question ahead of time. All right. And I'm doing this on the fly, and I can. You'll need to leave me your phone number so I can conference you up. Today on the show as well, no making fun of Chris Pratt. Hold on. Actor, Guardians of the Galaxy guy, right? Chris Pratt. I love the guy. This is just so stupid and ridiculous. A bunch of woke actors are absolutely ruined about a silly article that I guess was picking on fellow actor Chris Pratt, and it's just stupid. Okay, celestial excitement today to the extreme. I wrote this in the little preview text of the live video, and man, this is so cool. Nerds rejoicing. These very, very smart, no doubt pretty damn well-off nerds are gathered around this mission control type setting, trying to pull off an incredible feat happening 200 million miles away. That'd be embarrassing if they're trying to pull it off and it's just 200 miles away. All done remotely. And I'll just tell you, there's an asteroid called Asteroid Bennu that is about the size of the Empire State Building. And it's not long like the Empire State Building, but they say it's about the same amount of mass, I guess. And it's pretty damn big. And they have been honing in on this asteroid for quite some time. And they launched a craft a long time ago. And for the last 2 years, it's been going around the solar system right next to it. So 200 million miles away, we've got this craft flying just next to it. So it's kind of like in tandem. So after all the math is done and all the nerd stuff, they decided that they wanted to do, the mission was to get a sample of the asteroid. And I just love this shit. I just am blown away by the things that we can do. And I think we're just scratching the surface. Seriously. Absolutely amazing. I've got an update for you on and by the way, that Celestial Excitement moment is brought to you by my Mike Ball, distributor of Little Debbie products in your local grocer. Right on the end cap, you see them there. They got their pumpkin spice, whatever it is, and their oatmeal pies and their strawberry shortcakes. That's Mike Ball. He's the one who does all that stuff. MB Distributing. Very clever on the company name. MB Distributing. Thank you very much. Mike brings you celestial excitement. He actually hates it when I talk about it. He's like, no, nobody gives a shit about this stuff, you stupid nerd. And I was like, well, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, they do. It's fucking cool. So because of that, I'm making you the sponsor of it. Pay me. You're the sponsor for Celestial Excitement, dick fuck. We've got an update on the kook militia morons who wanted to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. as the feds plot out their case. Okay. And this all kind of ties in. Trump recently was in the Muskegon area, Muskegon, Michigan. And, let me just get this out as a reminder. Yeah, I am going to vote for the guy, but make no mistake, he's a fucking dumb fuck. Numerous times that guy has pissed me off so bad and driven me crazy. And, for me, if I'm him, I go out of my way to indict those assholes and all the shit that they do, these militia groups and crazy people and Proud Boys and all that bullshit. But then we get this.
Stand back and stand by.
That is fucking stupid. And you're an asshole for saying it. Yes, I'll vote for you, but you make it really, really difficult for me to say that with a straight face from time to time because of all the butt fuckery that happens that flies out of that fucking moron's mouth. So he shows up in Michigan again, and all those fucking assholes are yelling, lock her up about Whitmer. This is just fucking bullshit. I get so fucking sick of this shit. And I'll be so glad when this is all done. I don't give a fuck who even wins anymore, to be honest with you. I'm just fucking over it, okay? So Trump shows up in Muskegon, and then some asshole who lives in Colorado who hates Trump, another asshole. This asshole goes after the mayor of Norton Shores, Michigan, which is a community right next to Muskegon. It's basically part of Muskegon, and says and indicts him. Okay, drops the bomb on the guy. Sends the mayor a mean letter. What does this guy do? He sets he sicks the Facebook dogs on this person who wrote the note. I'll cover that drama going on in my neck of the woods. Holy shit! Again, we're less than 2 weeks away. Just keep the car on the road. But frankly, I have a bad feeling that on election night, the next day, it's going to be weird, and we're not exactly going to have a clear-cut winner based on all of the nonsense going on right now. I've just had it. Are you a mail-in ballot person? Some people, they did that ahead of time. I am not. I actually like being part of the process on day of. I like to, walk in, scan the room, look for buttfuckery, look for something that's interesting to talk about so that I can talk about it on the show. And I just like hand delivering it. I don't trust the mail system to take my vote and make it a thing. I don't even want to go there because, and I've never even, it might be perfectly fine, but I don't want to do it. I actually want to do it myself. At least that's how it is in my world. Okay. And that all happened as Trump decided to visit, and now things may be turning on the person who picked that fight. So some person sends a letter to the mayor of Norton Shores like, wait, what the fuck? I had nothing to do with this. Some dumbass did that, and now this person may get canceled, which is also bullshit. I think that this mayor, actually, of Norton Shores is kind of looking like a bitch and is well aware that publishing this message will in fact get this kook canceled, and I hate cancel culture for the most part. And I don't think that this person should be canceled, yet every asshole in the world who sees what this mayor posted about this crazy person who wrote to him is trying to cancel this idiot who wrote the letter in the first place. Does this make sense? Are you with me here? Thank you to Sean for sending all this along. I appreciate that. Okay. So I was able to piece that together. I think it's a pretty good show. Again, as we make our way through. What the hell am I hearing? My God, sorry. I'm like, what is that? Is there a helicopter over my house? What is happening? Excuse me. So I'm sitting here today trying to get this show on the road and come up with my stories, things to talk about, whatnot. By the way, before I get into that, again, thank you for the continued reach out moments. Melissa sent me a fantastic email that I I have to acknowledge it. I'm not going to get into what it says specifically, but Melissa recently suffered loss with her father. So this is, it couldn't be more similar to what I've experienced, really, with the loss of a parent. And I am so blessed to have such an involved group of people that care so much. And it will never be big and gigantic, but I don't care. I don't care about that because I have such a ardent group that will do so much to help. And she took the time to write this really nice email about loss and how she furthered my point that the idea that when you do suffer loss, you never get over it, but in effect, it is kind of a gift because then you share with other people who've experienced that, and you reach out to them, and that's what she did to me, and that's what I'll do to others who experience it now, and it just turns into just another example of how this group is, and not the biggest, but definitely the most thoughtful and caring, and the ability to wrap their arms around one another. It's a wonderful, wonderful, great community of people that help out. And, we're far from fucking perfect. We sit there and we fight and we bitch at each other and we do stupid shit and we piss each other off. But at the end of the day, it's all about this kind of like camaraderie. So thank you, Melissa. And she sent me like pictures of her sweet dad. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so personal. And what a thing. I was just so grateful to have that. So thank you. So yeah, that's kind of like where the day was yesterday. Yesterday was great because it was, again, super active, super busy getting the show done. I had the free podcast. I had Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia with Dale taking on Patriot Nick. If you missed that was a fucking great game for one of the people playing. And then of course the Patreon bonus, and then off doing limo work. So it was jam packed. And frankly, I need that. My brothers were reaching out to me. How are you? How are you? And I'm like, how are you? How are you? And it's like, we're all good. Okay. We're alive. We're going to make it. So, all right. Kind of figuring out things. I still cannot get over the fact that I will never speak to my mother again. And it's, I actually had one moment, and again, I got to be careful so that I don't start to weep, where in the past 24 hours, my mind took me to, oh my God, I got to call Mom. I haven't talked to her in a while. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, so for probably 1 or 2 seconds, I had forgotten that she died. And then I went, oh. So, I mean, yeah, those moments, those things happen. I read that letter that my mother wrote to me on the show yesterday at the end of the show. And it was tough to get through. And if you missed it, it's really, really special. My mother started writing a letter to me. It took her about 20 years to complete it. And she had strict instructions not to read it until after she passed. And she said that to my brother 10 years ago. And I got that letter and I read it, and it's really spectacular. And somebody suggested doing something with the letter, getting it in a frame and hanging it here in the studio, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I'm kind of thinking that it needs to be. I can't quite figure out if the letter needs to be on its own, just framed, and that's it, or something maybe a little more elaborate with a picture of her and I in it somehow, or I don't know. And maybe even a copy of it, like written with like nice penmanship, which I don't have. I don't know, calligraphy, something like that. And then the original gets put away or taken care of or something like that. Because honestly, this is probably the most treasured heirloom I will ever have. So, just a bunch of things going around in my brain right now. Today, though, getting the show on the road, as in addition with struggling, like, okay, what the hell we got to talk about? About 10 minutes before the show is getting set to start, I get a phone call. And it's a panicked Madison And she's fallen into a habit. It's kind of like a chip off the old block. Gets too busy, and then things fall through the cracks or don't happen. And in this case, now the second time it's happened, I don't have any gasoline. Now, there's a small percentage of me that says, well, let her learn, which is what my mother would have done. And which is why I fail as a parent where she would not. She would not fail. My mother would say, well, I don't know what you're going to do. Go figure it out. You're an adult. And that's where she wrote, this is why I love you because of this. You teach her a lesson. Well, I can't. I'm not that good. And so I'm like, all right, this is the second time this has happened. I don't have any gas. Actually, she went to school and she had said, hey, I got to leave early for school because I got to get gas. I go, all right, great. Yeah, the yellow light went on. I go, yeah, you're probably about out. You shouldn't do that. You should get the gas as soon as you see that or well before that. Okay. Dumb forgets something here. Has to come back home. Now she's like, I'm going to be late for school because now I forgot something and I can't get the gas. My mom would say, tough shit. Go run out of gas. Figure it out on your own. And then, learn. But I'm not my mom. I'm not that good of a parent. So I'm like, So then I just get annoyed. And then she gets annoyed because I'm annoyed. So she's talking to me literally outside of the garage. And I'm up here. And I'm like, well, do you have any gas? And I've done this before where I had some bug out gas when the pandemic hit. I bought like 30 gallons in case the world ended, And I still had some bug out gas. And I go, well, I pretty much gave you all the bug out gas last time. I might have a gallon in there. Sure enough, I had about 1 gallon of bug out gas remaining. So annoyingly, if I remember the first time, I said to her, I think I told this story. I gave her the 5 gallons of bug out gas because she forgot to put gas in her car. And I go, you owe me $15. Or it was $2 a gallon. I go, you owe me $10. Why? What do you mean, why? Because I gave you the gas. She goes, yeah, but it's ours. We own it. I go, well, did I make it from thin air? You dipshit. No, I bought it at the fucking gas station and I paid for it. Just because I paid for it then, I was going to use it. Now I'm giving it to you. You normally buy your gas. The only thing that's changed here is you got your gas from a different source. You still got to pay for it. Me. She doesn't get it. It's like, how the fuck can you not understand that? Why am I even? Why do I have to explain that? Shit. So she says, I'll pay you for the gas. And I go, well, yeah, you're going to pay me. That's yes, you are going to pay me. All right. And so I go downstairs, cripple her again. She learns nothing, no doubt, as I pour the gas in. There you go. Here's a gallon of gas. My God. Okay, so that slowed me down with a little bit of drama there. Still, we regroup. Here we are. And I appreciate you being here. I've got a couple things going on that I need to tell you about actually not going on. I had talked about, and I mentioned this on the Patreon, that on Friday I was doing a event at Great Lakes Winery, Brewery, and Distillery. And then on Saturday, I was hosting an event with Harbor Humane Outdoors with the Trunk or Treat going from 3 to 5. And I am no longer going to be doing those. I kicked the can down the road with Great Legs. We'll reconvene at a different time in the future. I just, for the most part, I don't want to be around anybody right now. And it just, to me, is, and I'm kind of wrecked by this. It's that COVID's right in my face again. You remember how I was before when this all got started? Like, oh God, okay. And I'm kind of like that right now after Mom died. And so that, and I want to make sure that I am at as minimal risk as possible to being exposed with the kidney donation that I'm with me donating the kidney looming now. I mean, we're getting very, very close to actually scheduling a surgery date. That should be done, if not this week, early next week. And it looks like it's going to be very early in December. I have to really pull back, and do everything I possibly can to avoid any slowdowns or worse. I mean, a slowdown in the kidney thing would be terrible, because I want this kidney into dude so that he can, start to recover. It's a horrible scenario going through dialysis, and I want that to stop for him. But so that there's that, and then I'm just gun shy of getting it and fucking dying. I understand that there is a minimal risk for someone who is in excellent health, but not always. And I don't like it. So it's just a personal thing. I don't like the specter of it. I don't like the fact that I could possibly be infecting somebody here at the house. I'm talking to Diana. I'm like, you got to quit your job. You're too exposed. And so we go round and round about that. I'm really starting to struggle with that again. And that's just all me. I'm not going to go down the road of beating you up because you've got your own belief systems in place. But for the foreseeable future, I'm kind of ripcording on all of this stuff. So we won't be doing anything. You can, if you want to go hang out at Great Legs, you're more than welcome to. They're still a sponsor of the show. I just won't be hosting anything. I was planning on doing this trunk or treat event at this place called Harbor with Harbor Humane. HarborHumane.org is their website. That is a no-kill animal shelter. They are awesome. I love them very much. Here in Ottawa County, the best, and quite a story of how they got started. I love that group there at Harbor Humane. Thank you, Allison, for being a great friend and supporter of the show. She runs the show over there at Harbor Humane, HarborHumane.org. And they have a trunk or treat fundraiser event going on at the shops at West Shore in Holland. It is a socially distanced outdoor event. It says here, trunk or treat pumpkin painting. And what I was going to judge, the dog costume contest, canine costume contest. So that is still going on, 3 to 5. More info, HarborHumane.org. All right. The open of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Thank you so much. Cameo.com is what I like to do. Actually, I should say it's not brought to you by Cameo. I'm just throwing that in there. I do cameos, cameo.com/Eric Zane. The open is brought to you by Terrytown RV. It's time. This is what you do. You go in, you buy an RV, and then they say, all right, you can't use it. It's getting too cold. Oh, come on, let me use it once. Well, you could, but it's probably not that great of an idea. You gotta lock that. Then you got something to look forward to. And then you're counting down the months to the spring. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. TerrytownRV.com. They're on division between 68th and 76th Street. Go to their website, TerrytownRV.com, and take a look at the inventory. It's massive. The biggest in the state, the biggest in several states, actually. They have an indoor showroom with more than 200 units available for you to check out there. They have it all. Division is just loaded with all these different RV dealerships. They're all associated with Terrytown RV. TerrytownRV.com. Pick one out and then go look at it in person. Thank you, Terrytown RV. I mentioned Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery. They're on East Lakewood Boulevard in Holland, Michigan, next to the luxurious Windmill Estates mobile home, now with only 4 domestic violence calls on average per week at Windmill Estates. You can, while you're watching the police go in and out of the trailer park, you can drive across the street to Great Legs and get yourself a nice new bottle of wine or a case of wine. Please do that. As you see Great Legs, get some wine there. Maybe fill up the growler with whatever beer they have on tap or a bottle of grappa. Okay? All at Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery. Thank you for being on board with the show. What time we got here? 8:39. That means we are 21 minutes away from Dear Meathead. What do we got for questions for Dad? I see Nick has wrote one. All right. Very nice. Thank you. And I see I have Mark. So we got two 2 questions in the hopper for Dad. If you can come up with anything the next handful of minutes, that would be excellent. Thank you. So, came across the story, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? Actor Chris Pratt is being made fun of in a silly way, and now, okay, I thought this can't be serious. Katherine Schwarzenegger, Robert Downey Jr., and Mark Ruffalo defend Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt began trending over the weekend because filmmaker Amy Berg, don't know who that is, asked people on Twitter, quote, which Hollywood Chris has to go? So it sounds like a cheeky, silly, like if you could pick all the Chris's in Hollywood, who would have to go? In fact, I'm clicking on the link, and I don't know if she gives you options. Yeah. You got Hemsworth, Pine, and guy who plays Captain America and shows his dick. What's his name? Okay. So you got Pine, Hemsworth, Pratt, and Captain America who shows his dick. I forget his name. And that's it. It's a silly thing. You got to pick one. One has to go. I mean, everybody's seen those. They're silly. You just pick one, and it's stupid. It's what someone does. You're just something different than politics on Twitter. Who gives a shit? Well, all these fucking woke assholes got bent out of shape like it matters. Well, first of all, Chris Pine probably doesn't give a shit. He's probably like, would you guys shut the fuck up? I don't care about any of this. Why are you making such a big deal about it? But no, they actually are. Katherine Schwarzenegger, which is his wife, Katherine Schwarzenegger Pratt, Robert Downey Jr., and Ruffalo are like up in arms after this internet challenge named him the worst Hollywood Chris. This is so stupid. Pratt began trending over the weekend as a result, responding to an Instagram post by E! News that asked followers the same question. Schwarzenegger wrote, "Is this really what we need?" Okay, come on. There's so much going on in the world, and people are struggling in so many ways, she continued. Being mean is so yesterday. There's enough room to love all these guys. Love is what we all need, and not meanness and bullying. Let's try that. Oh my God. Come on, man. Downey Jr. and Ruffalo, who of course worked with him in the Avengers films, also replied on the Twitter challenge, writing on their respective social media accounts. What a world. This is Downey Jr. What a world. The sinless are casting stones at my brother Chris Pratt. At first I thought, he's got to be kidding, right? This can't, you can't, he's got to be just fucking around. He's got to end this by saying, fuck Chris Pratt at the end of it, right? That's the only way this can work out, is if he does this long-winded, stupid thing and then ends it with, fuck that guy, because that's funny. I mean, yeah, I understand we should be nice to each other, but it's a stupid gag. It's just silly. No one really wants anything bad to happen to anyone. All right? It's just dumb. I wish someone would put a thing out that says one podcast sucks, which one has to go, and they of course pick me. That's all good. That's good for business, and it's silly and lighthearted. Come on. Downey, what a world. What a world. The sinless are casting stones at my brother Chris Pratt. Downey, 55, wrote on Instagram alongside a photo of himself and Pratt on the set of Avengers Endgame. A real Christian who lives by principle has never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude. And he just married into a family that makes space for civil discourse and just plain fact, insists on service as the highest value. Yeah, I don't know anything about marrying into the family. That's got to be something political, I guess. I don't give a shit. If you take issue with Chris, I've got a novel idea, Downey Jr. continued. Delete your social media accounts. Sit with your own defects of character. Work on them. Then celebrate your humanness. Hashtag got your back. Oh, God, this is terrible. And then Ruffalo, who's the worst. Ruffalo is such a pain in the ass. This guy is like, he makes the pain in the ass moments I have with Madison look like a walk in the park. The guy's always so up in everybody's shit. God, Ruffalo, please fuck off. The Hulk tweeted, you all at Pratt, which is his, I guess, Twitter name, is as solid a man there is. No one's denying that, Ruffalo. It's a stupid thing. It's just is he really butthurt? Is he really hurt? Because this is embarrassing. Even if he is, just fucking let it go and say, that's a stupid. Don't air the grievance with the world. I mean, you just look like an asshole. You know, if Chris Pratt did something that okay, let's say he's accused of something horrible, but everybody knows he didn't do it. Okay, like something illegal, and he's hurting, or he's beat up by it, or he's thinking that the end is, or he's suicidal, or something like that. Then and only then, I think, would it be acceptable to do something like this. I know him personally, and instead of casting aspersions, look at how he lives his life. He is just not overtly political as a rule. That's written weird. He is just not overtly political as a rule. But no one's talking fucking politics here. It was a meme that said, get rid of one Chris, Pine, Hemsworth, Pratt, Captain America. Pick one. It's just a fucking meme. My God. Let's keep our eyes. Okay. This is where he can't help it. He's so political. He can't just say, come on, give my buddy a break. He somehow has to turn it on Trump. He's one of the biggest anti-Trumpers in the world. He hates him so bad, man. Holy shit. This guy can't take a shit without somehow referencing Donald Trump. Ruffalo. He is just not overtly political as a rule. This is a distraction. Let's keep our eyes on the prize, friends. We are so close now. So he's thinking that, his guy Biden is going to win. So we can't be focused on anything but that. So, yeah, don't tell me what to do or anybody else what to do. Why don't you worry about your fucking self, you asshole? Fuck you. The Jurassic World star and his wife confirmed the arrival of their first child together in August. Well, there you go. Fantastic. Pine's like, I don't give a shit. Or Pratt says, I don't give a shit about any of this. Would you guys shut the fuck up? I'm over here trying to change dirty diapers, for God's sake, and figure out how to be a dad. And you're over there being stupid and old. Shut up. My God. How embarrassing to have everybody rush to your aid like that. Ugh. Holy crap. Questions for Dad. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I was just checking the clock, seeing where we are. I'm way early. Where are we? Still got Nick. Still got Mark. Okay. All right. As we got about, like I said, 10 or 11 minutes till we get Dad in here, and I'll do that. But I want to get into the story about more coming out now about these militia weirdos. The Wolverine Watchmen, who federal authorities said were making their way to trying to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. And who knows what they would do to her. They and this all comes about because of pandemic response and mask mandates. And I'm dying to hear more about the infiltration of these organizations, which it takes time to build that level of trust. If you ever saw the film Donnie Brasco, Johnny Depp plays a guy. It's a true story of federal agent Joe Pistone, and he really dives into the undercover work and becomes a member of the mafia, but he's an informant. I mean, he's an FBI guy, federal agent, and he starts from the ground up to become involved in the mob in a very long con, if you will. Okay. And in the story, he gets way entrenched and involved to a point where he has like emotional relationships with people. He cares very much about them in the film. This is all true story. Well, I can't help but wonder what it was like for the federal agents or maybe they were militia members who turned on these dumbasses who were plotting to kidnap the governor. I would love to get the inside scoop on that. So all of that takes place. All of the recordings take place. All of the various plans are discussed where they have enough evidence to go get these bad guys. And then, boom, they go get them. And then here we sit. It happened. The planning meetings happen right here in West Michigan at a place called the Vac Shack. Remember that poor son of a bitch who runs that place? He's like, I had no fucking idea what was going on. He's all heartbroken. I actually felt pretty bad for that guy. So now it's getting closer to what the government wants to do about it. But now the defense attorney representing these militia dudes is speaking out. And he's saying basically, look, man, they're just a bunch of dumbasses. This is an update on the plot and how the case is going right now. Check this out.
New video tonight from the federal case against 6 men accused of plotting to kidnap Governor Whitmer. The government released the videos of training exercises, pictures of weapons, a crude map of the governor's house, and online communication between the suspects.
Now, they show the map, and first of all, these are all very, very stupid people, okay? They're just smart enough to be able to have the meetings and do some of the online communication as incognito as they can. But they show the map, and did you ever read when you would read the newspaper, you see like the funnies, like the comics, and there was always like that one called Family Circus where the kid would walk and there would be like dots behind him for his path. It looks like that. And there's like a stick figure and a lake and then X marks the spot and all sorts of stupid shit on this dumb map that these fucking wannabe war heroes drew up. And they show the video, the government actually, in the government's case against these assholes. They show some of the training video, and they're in like their Ford Fusion, and you can see they videotaped it from the back seat. These two idiots, these fat asses, are doing this exercise where they have to get out of their car and use the door as a shield and hold their weaponry, and they can barely get the fucking guns around their fat guts. You know, they got like a whole bunch of fish hooks on the rear view mirror as their little ornament there. And they can barely get out of the car. And it's embarrassingly bad. And one of these nerds, you see his pussy holds a gun. He's sitting there and he's practicing with his rifle. And then when that runs out, he puts it down and he grabs his pistol. And he holds the pistol like a bitch. And he's so not leaning. It's just awkward as shit. And then he's practicing releasing the magazine and getting another one. And it takes him for fucking ever to do it. He would have been shot 50 times in the face by the time he was able to get the next magazine in. These guys suck at everything. They do nothing right, including bodily functions and bathing. So this all is in this video that they show.
After a federal judge ruled today there is enough evidence to move forward in this case. Defense attorneys suggested in court today that the men talked big, but had no real plan to go through with the alleged Whitmer kidnap plot.
Okay, this is where he says, yeah, my clients are just a bunch of loudmouths and they do stupid shit. Check this defense attorney out.
We're talking about guys who want to run around in the woods with guns and say bad things about the government. So what?
How embarrassing is that?
We're talking about is a First Amendment right to assembly, a First Amendment right to speech, a Second Amendment right to possess guns. And
I think that's a good attorney. I think that's a great way to base your defense. They are allowed to do that. They are allowed to say whatever the fuck they want about the governor. I support that, and I support them to run around in the woods and be fucking weirdos. That's fine. And I love the fact that this guy is saying it. Yeah, my clients are just a bunch of simpletons who are angry at everything. And that he might actually win the case because of that. I think that is a great defense. And he's using the Constitution to benefit him and benefit his clients. That sounds like a good lawyer to me.
Own guns.
But federal prosecutors said that the men took several concrete steps to go forward with their plan, including twice conducting physical surveillance on Whitmer's northern Michigan home.
The 5 men.
That's the snake in the grass right there.
Will be held without bond pending the next step in the case, grand jury proceedings.
Wow. All right. I'll get to the mayor of Norton Shores posting a letter from a pissed off person after Trump came to town. I'll explain all that. This mayor didn't have anything to do with it. And some weirdo in Colorado wrote a note to this guy, an email to the mayor. And I don't know if it's the right thing for the mayor to post it. I think that might have been a kind of a bitch move. Yeah, maybe you think differently. I don't know. All right, so we'll get to Dear Meathead with Dad in just a minute. I'll call him up. But first, before I get to that, I want to remind you that the show is on Patreon, and there is a ton of content on there. As you know, I do this free podcast every day, and that is supported by sponsorships financially. But on Patreon, it's all supported by you. So if you think I'm doing a good job and you want more content, I know I produce a lot, but that's kind of how it works. Patreon.com/Eric Zane, $5 or $10 a month gets you this every single week. Every single week, you get my 5 bonus podcasts. Those usually run about a half an hour each, video and audio. But that's not all. Twice a week, I release the lost Zane recordings from my time at WBBL. I release those on Mondays and Fridays. Also, the Insane Asylum, which is my radio show that I do for Northern Michigan's Q100. I pick the music and actually do the show and post it commercial free for you before it even hits the air on the radio. Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia for cash, for a cash prize. If you're signed up for Patreon, you're eligible to play. We draw a new name out each and every week. That game usually happens on Tuesdays. Okay, there's that. And, of course, my podcast with Ben Glaze. Okay? We missed it last week because of the personal things going on, but back at it this week. In fact, we will be live in this studio on Friday at 6 p.m. for my podcast with Ben Glaze. And that's all on Patreon, and that all happens every single week. Okay? Free Patreon bonus, Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia, Insane Asylum, Lost Zane recordings, and then my podcast with Ben. All there for you. Thank you. Check it out. $5 or $10 a month. It's not that much. I would appreciate it if you signed up. I have a army of sponsors that, of course, make this all possible. Horizon Hydroponics. They are online at horizonhydroponics.com. You can buy online or in person. The expertise comes with it, whether in person or via the phone. So if you're getting ready to make an online purchase at horizonhydroponics.com, HORIZEN, hydroponics.com, you're like, wait, what does this do? If I buy this, how does this work? Just call them. They'll give you the advice you need, You buy your stuff. Orders $250 and more. The shipping is free. And use my coupon code ZaneShow at checkout. Please do that. And you'll save 10% on your order. Or get it all done in person. Grand Rapids on Alpine, Growers Outlet in Byron Center, Michigan. They got a store in Lansing and a store in Kalamazoo. Okay. Kent County Health Department online at accesskent.com/health. They have 4 COVID testing stations in and around West Michigan, Kent County specific. And of course, all the vaccinations for your kids, you can't let that fall through the cracks, with all the things you're worried about. Don't let the measles, mumps, rubella, things like that slide through. Keep your kids healthy. Thank you, Kent County Health Department. You need more information on anything, 616-632-7100. Okay. And before we get Dad in here, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. I love these people so much. Hardworking, mom and pop, veteran and lady owned. Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. 616-532-6600. They have socially distanced car repair down, man. You drop it off, leave the keys, see you later. They send you an email, and then you can call with any follow-up questions with all of the things that are wrong with it. Pictures, descriptions. This is what you need. This is shot. It needs to be replaced. This can wait. Great. Yes. Approve. Boom. Before you know it, you're good to go. You don't even have to see anybody. Pay over the phone. Your keys are there hanging up on the thing. Go get your car. Goodbye. They service all makes and models of European, domestic, and Asian cars. The one thing I should say is that they don't service is Volkswagens. Thank you, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Awesome. All right. Time to get Dad on for Dear Meathead. Dear Meathead is always brought to you by my friends at JM Synthetics, where if you buy anything, I'm going to send you either a hat, an Eric Zane Show podcast hat, or a vinyl record that I will sign. And I should go through and post like a whole bunch of them. I've got not a huge collection, but I got about 100 records that I need to unload. And Adam just bought about $30 worth of stuff from JM Synthetics. And he said, send me that Nazareth hair of the dog. We talked about this on the Patreon yesterday. So I'm going to sign it and then send it along. So you don't have an idea of what exactly I have in the collection, but you can actually pick and choose, or just say, send me a record, Zane, sign it, personalize it. I will send you a vinyl record if you buy anything at JM Synthetics, online at jmsynthetics.com. Let's bring in the legend right now. My immortal father of 86 years. Dad is along for Dear Meathead right now. Where are you? Well,
you're Johnny on the spot, aren't you?
Yeah, always. How are you?
I'm doing well, honey. And yourself?
Yeah, hanging in there. Got back to work yesterday.
I realized that, and I just wondered how you felt. Did you get up at the crack of dawn and take your Bruce and O'Neill out for a walk?
Well, I was able to just let them out, out the back door.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different arrangement here than it is at your place, but at your place,
yeah. You got a fenced-in yard, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So you let them loose there. You're all right.
Yeah, but I still take them for walks here. It's important. But yeah, when I was with you, you would see me out walking the dogs all damn day.
Yeah. Man, you're resilient. You are resilient.
Well, I get that from my mother and father. You realize that, don't you?
Yes. I think you're mostly your father, right?
Well, it's funny because Mom has been so much on the brain. I've been like giving her all the credit, and everyone's like, well, hey, give some credit to your dad. It's like, well, I do.
Well, listen, credit I don't want. Just give me some of the cash, will you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, dude.
Anyway, did you return your camper and all that? It's all straightened out, or?
No, actually, I got to do that. It's sitting there in the driveway. It's just dumb.
Oh boy.
It's in there right now, and so I'm like, holy crap! I gotta winterize it, which isn't much fun. But yeah, that's that.
Yeah, you do that at home before you take it in?
Yeah, you just got to run the antifreeze through the line so it doesn't get stupid.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm grateful for the fact that you're so adamant about taking care of that thing. It's an expensive machine.
Thank you, Dad. Yeah, so it was quite an adventure at your place. I was really, it was strange because with and we talked a little bit about this. I would probably say that I was getting quite relaxed with COVID, and then it wasn't until Mom passed that I was like, oh yeah, that's still here. That's still a thing. We should probably be socially distant from each other. So it was just weird being you so close, yet we couldn't really.
I know. I kept forgetting, and I creep up on people. And Joanne watching me like a hawk, and she really gets ticked off at me, and I don't blame her. So I'm trying. I really am trying.
No, you did okay.
My makeup.
You did fine. So I of course want people to send in questions to eric@ericzaneshow.com, but I want to talk a little bit about Meathead's Marketplace, Dad.
Okay.
Do you remember what Meathead's Marketplace was? We talked about Meathead's Marketplace.
Well, I remember you talked about it.
Okay, so that's where we sell your stuff.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Now, you have to know something. I have stored all of those things back in a container. It's not available at this moment.
Well, I know, but you and I talked about the chainsaw.
Yeah, right.
Right, and that's available.
Yes, it is, but I see when, excuse me a minute, when you leave machines like that aside with the gasoline in it,
yeah,
eventually that becomes a problem.
Right.
So I have to have that thing cleaned up because I tried to get it started. I was having difficulty with it. So I have a neighbor that does that for me. So I got to do all of those things ready. Now, what is it you have in mind is what I want to hear.
Yeah, you can just go get it. It's no big deal as long as we.
Oh, I can get it. No, because it is a runnable machine.
The idea is we talk about it, and then we're trying to match you up with somebody who would actually buy it off of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how old is the chainsaw, Dad? 10? 15?
Probably at least 15.
Now, I looked at it. It's in great shape.
Good shape. I take care of those things.
No, absolutely. It's an Echo chainsaw. And I actually have pictures of it, and I'll post them.
It's a good brand.
Yeah, and the thing, and it's in that plastic case, obviously, that it comes with. And
yes.
Included with that, Dad, is a number of chains. You've got a number of chains that are there.
There's about 5 or 6 chains, and 3 of them are sharp and ready to go.
Yeah, they've already been sharpened. So basically, this thing mix the gas appropriately, and then which I always forget to do. And did you know that? Did you know that I put straight gas into a chainsaw one time and ruined it?
No, you can't do that.
I know it.
I know that.
I did that more than once. I did that on a chainsaw, and I did that on another lawn or yard implement, and ruined it, man.
See, I have labels on any equipment that I have, which is about 3 of them. That shows the mixture number and all that, and it's stapled. Not a staple, but it's stuck on the machine.
Well, thank God you didn't staple it onto the chainsaw, Dad.
Yeah, just stable.
I wish I had done that too, Dad. So it has all that, and then now how much do you want for the chainsaw, Dad?
Well, I think that chainsaw when I purchased it was over $300. I would settle for $200. Well,
wait, what is
it? Quite expensive. So
yeah, well, okay, so
all the stuff.
Yeah, Joanne.
I would settle because it's been used for quite a long time. But it's a well-running, well-oiled machine. Yeah, I would like to have $200 for it.
Okay, so Meathead's Marketplace. I'll post the pictures on my website in the news, and I'll put it in the comments of this podcast, if they want to see the specifics, they have any questions, they can reach out to me and I'll pass it along to you. Okay, Dad?
That'll be fine.
All right. Very good.
And meanwhile, my neighbor behind me is the one that does the repairs for me. He's quite busy with the project that he's got. So I have to have that thing clean it up and operational and all that and get it ready whenever they're ready to look at it or purchase it. It's available.
All right, Dad, you ready for some questions?
I sure am.
Now
I missed that.
Now, you need to know the audience has been lockstep with the entire family after all of the nuttiness that went down. I mean, it's a very close-knit group of people here. I'm very fortunate to have been experiencing this awful time with them.
Yes, and I commend them that they are part of you, and they actually are part of me as well.
Yes, indeed. You have experienced firsthand the sweetness and the generosity of this amazing group of people.
Yes.
With that as a backdrop, Kenny in Nashville writes, Dear Meathead, a friend of mine recently lost a family member very close to them, much like our beloved Eric just did. What is your absolute best advice for anyone dealing with such a huge loss in their life? I think this is good advice for Kenny and for me, too. He writes, much love for you, Ruben and Joanne and all of the family.
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. Kenny, it really is a difficult task as far as that goes. No matter what your circumstances are, death does bring up a lot of pain. However, some people deal with it with a tremendous resilience, and it's the time that what they do need, the leftover of the family behind. They need their own private time to mourn quietly on their own without interference of anybody. But the greatest thing that happens is when people reach for them or to them and let them know that they're hurting with them as well. And the greatest thing is that you need to have friends within yourself, within a surrounding of you to comfort you as well. But they can't be just keep on bringing it to your attention.
Yeah, you say
the wonderful thing that you feel like saying and let them be.
Yeah, say it once and then no more. Say, I said it once, I'm not saying it again.
Don't dwell on it.
Yeah.
And one thing, this is what I learned something from you being down here with me.
Uh-huh.
You did not dwell on it, but you were hurting.
Yeah, it was rough. It felt unnatural to me. I didn't, it's important to focus on the person who's passing and the family. But frankly, at the end of it, I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's get back after it. Let's move, as best you can. Because frankly, I don't have time for death. I mean, I love my mom very dearly and I will remember her as much as I possibly can. But I got stuff that's got to get done, man. So I gotta, and that helps me. Honestly, that's the way. But everybody's different. People might do it a different way. They might sit there.
This is true.
And
feel everybody
like
does differently, but time is of essence.
Yeah.
Time will heal all your wounds.
Yes.
Just give it the time and hang in there, and you'll be all right.
I just pray that people can. I've never experienced that. I've never been with a person when they passed away. Okay, and that was taken from us, and that I think is the big thing. Because if you remember, maybe like when Grandma Grace died, I mean, Joanne was there. It was part of it.
Sure,
and that's a huge moment that will stick with you forever, and that didn't happen.
This is the one thing that I could not fathom or understand, that within a family, there's so much hatred occasionally. I don't say all the time. The people in a family that don't even like each other. I think those people ought to get their act together and put the bad feelings aside and think that they have someone out there they can definitely love. A family member is the greatest thing in the world. To have a family is a God-given gift.
You're speaking in like generalizations. Yes, people who
generalizations. Yeah. That's right.
Gotcha. All right, Dad. Nick writes this. It's kind of a very reflective bunch of audience members today, and I thank them for that. Nick writes, Dear Meathead, a friend of mine who's also a listener is struggling during this pandemic in many ways. Do you have any positive words of encouragement for them? Please and thank you. And then Nick writes, I'm being vague on purpose because I want to keep the person's identity set like anonymous. So what I guess what he's asking for is the person is struggling during this whole virus thing. Do you have any positive words that might help this person see through to the other side, Dad? Kind of push them along.
I probably would, but I'm not really, in this case, I'm not that savvy, but then again, I can pass this on. Now, first thing, I overlooked his name again. What is his name?
His name is Nick.
Nick, you know, the time, I feel the same way. In fact, yesterday I was quite depressed, although I've been at it for a long time. And I really was quiet. Today I feel much greater because I woke up with the thought that, when my wife woke me up with the thought that it's a brand new day, what can I do to make my day better? I really thought about that. And I came downstairs with a lot more joviality.
Yeah.
And I felt good. I think my wife can attest to that. That I'm happy. I'm more talkative now. I actually didn't talk a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
So don't take this to a point that, what else is there? All I do is sit around the house and do nothing. Well, that may be so. You want to sit around and do nothing, it's okay. But just to think, it'll pass. Just think of that. Now, they tell me it's not passing, something is coming back again. Well, keep away as much as you can from people, because that's going to be the culprit to give you this disease.
You know what you should do?
Associating with people.
You know, I noticed that you said when I was visiting you that you're kind of getting a little bit stir crazy by not being, doing things and going out.
Right.
I think you should bring back some old hobbies. Perhaps could you maybe go and procure a 1977 Cutlass Supreme car and I don't know, attempt to paint it? Would you?
No, I have things I can keep occupied. I find my brain with it. But you're right. Do anything you can.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I took up arranging my garage.
Oh, it's clean, by the way. It is immaculate. I noticed
Well, I have done that, but I still have a lot of things to put away.
Yep. You ended up picking up all the parts of your fingers off the ground.
Don't be funny, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry about that. And then,
right.
But Dad, I mean, I look back on that story. It's one of the most ridiculous things that's ever happened. When you lived in Warren, when you in that little teeny tiny backyard decided you wanted to build a spray booth, and paint that car. You actually you manufactured a plastic and wood frame around the vehicle.
Absolutely. I had about a 30-foot long frame, put plastic around it, and when I started spraying, my neighbors beginning to shut their windows down.
I know it.
Bang, bang, bang. They were all ticked off.
Yeah.
Hell.
Now, didn't you come up with a nickname so you knew in advance that the young children that lived there, didn't you call them the Asthma Brothers?
Asthma Brothers. They all had asthma, and we called them the Asthma Brothers. Yeah.
So with the knowledge,
that was the worst thing I could have done for them.
Yeah. I would say that paint fumes probably is not going to help the breathing of the Asthma Brothers.
But it worked. The car got painted. It didn't look the best, but it got painted.
I wonder whatever happened.
Cutlass Supreme, I think. Or Cutlass
that's
something.
Exactly what it was. It was a black Cutlass. Jeez.
Black.
Whatever happened to the Asthma Brothers? Didn't one of them steal your briefcase or something?
Somebody stole with my briefcase with my own insurance papers with a $20 check that I got. Not check, cash from a customer the night before.
Holy
crap. They stole all that. But I had no clue that I couldn't prove it.
Oh, for God's sake.
Anyway.
All right. Well, because I noticed that you, when I was talking to you, you're like, oh God, there's really not a lot to do around the place.
No, there isn't.
You have done so much.
Patience.
Yeah.
That's
So
all you need. Patience, patience, patience.
that's like the first
Easier
thing.
said than done. But walking is a good thing. Her and I walk 2 miles every day.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys just crush it. You're in such good shape, man. That is you really
I
are.
don't know about that.
Well, I mean, when you get to be in your 80s, that's an absolute that is not negotiable. It has to happen. That is.
Oh, I see what you guys do. You did the same thing.
Yeah, you have to keep moving, for God's sake. It's just the
Yes.
second you start to sit idly, it's like, that can be a myriad of health problems when you get to be that old. So I really give you guys credit. That's how you look so young, both of you. I don't know how you do it, man.
Well, we feel good. I think we do reasonably well. But then again, we are in the 80s, you know.
Yeah, you're both like still good looking. That's the thing that always strikes
Well,
me
thank
about you two.
Thank you. My wife is, I know that.
I know she's extremely pretty. She always has been. I was having that discussion with my brother Michael. You guys came up and he goes, I'm always struck by how pretty Joanne is. You know, I mean, a lot of times when someone
You
gets
made
to
her
be,
day, buddy.
well, it's true. I mean, a lot of the time that's a very rare thing for beauty to not leave a person when they get on in years. And you both, I'm like, God, you're so handsome and she's so pretty. How the hell do you do that?
I don't know. We love each other a lot.
I mean, I look like hell and I'm only 50.
Oh, my God. You look great on there. You can't.
All right.
Don't kid yourself.
I've got one more question for you. It is Mark. He writes this, Meathead. There is an upcoming debate happening Thursday, the last one before the big election. Can you think of what would you ask Trump and Biden? Please embellish.
Would you repeat that question? Would I ask?
Yeah. Well, Mark writes, what would you ask Trump and Biden if you were in charge of the debate?
I would tell him maintain the resilience that we see
No.
he has. He does have a resilience.
No, it's a question. You got to ask him a question.
I should ask him a question?
Yeah, if you had to ask Trump or Biden a question, like, what is your, I don't know, how do you feel about foreign policy or whatever it may be? If you could ask them any question, what would you ask them?
I would ask him, Mr. Trump, President Trump, or whatever, at what point of your life would you become the president, which I care for? I really vote for him, and I don't mind announcing it. However, your speaking is not the best forte that you have. The language you have in your speeches is not suiting a president.
Uh-huh.
So how about cleaning that up?
Would you please clean up your
You would be the
language?
greatest president that I could ever think that I had.
So maybe something along the lines of, have you ever thought of being a little nicer?
You don't have to be nice, but you don't have, well, the niceness goes with good speaking.
Well, I mean, he can be just as ardent in what he believes in without being an a-hole. You know, he really can. You know,
He doesn't have the class of speaking the way a president should speak.
yeah, that bugs me too sometimes. Honestly, it really does.
I mean, this very first debate that I noticed, it was ridiculous.
Oh, it was terrible. So both of them were terrible.
I mean, they were both nasty.
Yeah.
But the language, good God, that was not becoming of a president.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, the other guy was egging him.
Yeah, he was bad too.
But the president should have. There was a movie that we used to watch that the man was the president, a young guy, one of the actors. I just love him. What a man he was. That was like about 3 years ago. He was acting, but what an action.
Okay, so you like the actor president. You want the way he behaved.
Yeah, I sure like the actor president. I like the current president. Change the style of his speaking.
All right, Dad. I tell you what, I think we're going to leave it right there. Let me just double check, make sure there's no other questions that have come in. I think we're good. There actually might be one more question.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. This person wrote, Dear Meathead, with no disrespect to Joanne, would you be willing to share a favorite memory of your time with Eric's mother? Or is that weird?
It's not weird. It's
Okay.
just reality. Eric's mother was a great mother. I never want to dispute that.
Right.
And the early years, 3-4 years of that marriage was great.
Uh-huh.
It was great. The children were born of love and greatness.
Uh-huh.
And gradually things began to change.
Sure.
And the one thing that I won't be touching base on is something that it just occurred. It's not something that we hated each other and all that.
Right.
It's just raising the family the way it was being raised.
Right.
I really don't want to bring this particular thing up.
No, don't. He's just, all he wants to know.
Things that are involved.
Yeah, Dad, he just wants to know something
It
nice.
wasn't, what I'm saying is not in a bad way, but it was not setting in right with me because
Dad.
memories are good. The best memory is the fact that we had you, mister, that had your nights and days totally screwed up.
This is a good memory?
You slept in the daytime and cried at the nighttime.
Yeah, I knew what I was doing.
I know you know. You must know what you're doing. I used to take you out for a ride at 1 o'clock in the morning in my car.
And you drink.
Well, that had nothing to do with it. They're trying to get you to fall asleep.
I know it. So that's your good memory, huh?
That's a memory that was memory from hell.
Oh.
Now you want a good memory?
Yeah, I don't. It seems like I'm having a hard time getting a good one.
The good memory is your mother and I were in love.
All right, that's
You were born out of love.
There you go. Now we're talking. If you
no two ways about it.
How did you two meet? He wants to know. I mean, was it through Mr. Tarzinski? Is that how that happened?
Mrs. Tarzinski.
Mrs. Tarzinski, friend of the family. God rest her soul.
Yes. Somehow, I knew Tarzinski's.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they were friends with your mom.
Right. And then
and somehow or other, that's how I really don't remember that somehow it got us together.
There you go. You're like, oh yeah, there's this lady. She's got all that baggage. She might be ripe.
No, nothing about baggage. Baggage. I just met her, and I just needed to date somebody, and I dated her, and it worked all right. And gradually, it manifested to be what it was. In fact, you live long enough, you do forget things.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
I understand.
That's one of my problems right now. So
I totally understand that.
Are altering me.
Well, Dad, I tell you what, I'm going to leave it right there. As always, thanks again for your enlightenment. Thanks for the support during that difficult time. You were nothing but fantastic. You and Joanne both caring for us. It was weird. It's unfortunate, but we did the best we could, and I was just glad to be.
Absolutely, and then we both understood that it's hard times.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I love you guys very much.
All right, and let me know about the chainsaw. That's great. I'll have it cleaned up. I'll have it repaired, but it's going to take me a few days because this guy's really busy right now.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing broken, but
no, it's a great chainsaw.
I just want to clean it up.
Seriously, hell, I might even buy it, but I'll do some.
It's a great machine. I'll tell you that right now.
No, it's excellent. Okay, I'll let you know what's going on. You might get somebody who wants to haggle. If they want to haggle, are you willing to haggle a little?
We'll work it out. That's not a problem.
What is the word you say? Dicker? Are you going to dicker for the price?
A dicker,
Dicker is what you did to make me.
No, we did not dicker about that. We took you as it was.
Okay, Dad. Thanks for dickering. I love you very much.
Okay. We'll talk to you later, guys.
Talk to you later. All right, there you go. Another edition of Dear Meathead brought to you by JM Synthetics. Oh, my God. Online at jmsynthetics.com. You know, sometimes I gotta like, you know, steer them away from, I mean, oh God, we were talking the Trump thing. I was like, oh shit, just ask him a question, come up with it. And he managed. And then, but you know, it takes a little work. And then when he started talking about my mom, I was like, yeah, just give me a good memory, man. Give me something fun that happened. No, all good. Thank you very much. Okay. I always struggle. Where the hell was I? Where am I now? Holy crap. What's going on? Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for this show. Thank you very much to them. They take care of my Twitter. Their sponsorship is awesome. They all are. You guys are the best. Blue Frost IT. Remember them. Share that info with your boss. Say, you know, hey, boss, our computers suck. Everything's slow. Everything's shitty. Nothing works. We're wasting time. We need to be upgrading. We can do this on a budget. What do you mean? Well, Blue Frost IT can be our IT support. Well, I don't have the money to pay for a whole IT staff. No. It doesn't quite work that way. You need more information. Zane told me to tell you to call them 616-200-8550 for Blue Frost IT. Tell them what you need. Tell them what's going on and let them do their thing. They are the experts. Blue Frost IT. Hell, if your company is getting set to move from one place to the other and you're like, you want to do a whole new setup, all new gear, all new data centers, whatever it may be, they take care of everything at your new place. I some of the language, it's beyond me, but they know everything, how it works. Blue Frost IT, get your office set up appropriately with the right gear with their help. 616-200-8550. As you know, longtime sponsor of the show, the almighty Joe Martinez, the man who invented forbidden Spanish.
Tu madre es una puta.
Say that when you call him. He'll know that you're a listener of the show.
Tu madre es una puta.
Tu madre es una puta. Save money with Joe Martinez, and then you'll be letting him know that you think his mother's a whore, which would be a terrible thing to say, man. He'd probably want to punch you, but he's going to know that he created the whole damn concept. Well, actually, I came up with the concept, and he just did it all.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Of saying nasty words in Spanish. Joe Martinez and his forbidden Spanish. 616-516-8579. For my friends at A&E Heating and Cooling, a furnace tune-up is just $79. Get that done, man. It's getting cold. All right. You don't want to just turn it on and then, everything's fine. That thing needs to be looked at. It's a very sensitive piece of equipment, your furnace. And years aren't kind to it, okay? As the years pass, the person who works in the furnace, like Joe, can say, hey, you got only a little bit of time left in this. You might want to start saving your money for a new one. That's basically how it works. Yeah, I can get it going now, and you'll probably be fine this winter, but you're going to need an upgrade. 616-516-8579, installing the Comfort Maker brand of furnaces and air conditioners. A&E Heating and Cooling. Okay, let me get back to this whole political thing. Trump comes to West Michigan. No big deal. Trump comes to a lot of places. He is just fucking sweating Michigan. He's like, holy shit, man, I cannot live. First of all, Trump won Michigan last year by like 11,000 votes. It's very, very close. This is a state that typically goes blue. Got a mass population in Detroit that is always blue. And then the rest of the state, I mean, West Michigan is a little blue, but it's historically red. And then everywhere else is red. Everywhere else is red. Okay? So you get all these small little towns. You add them up, and they come out of the woodwork registering to vote in the last election. Boom, Michigan goes red. Holy shit, that was massive. So that's how Trump won the election. So states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin make or break the election. He shows up in Muskegon, Michigan this past weekend for another coronavirus festival. And sure as shit, he's there doing his thing. Everybody's chanting. All those assholes are chanting, lock her up, which fucking pissed me off. Come on, you guys, get serious here. And he's getting everybody all riled up, doing his thing. Well, the mayor of Norton Shores, Michigan, gets an email, or I should say a note. No, actually, it was an email. And somebody from Colorado wrote in to the mayor, Gary Nealand. And he went and then took the note and screenshot it and made it public, which I think is kind of a bitch move. I don't know. Because you know how everybody is. They're going to cancel whoever this person is. And this person is just basically attacking Nealon with an uninformed opinion and being an asshole. And I am of the opinion that that doesn't mean that a person gets canceled. I don't think that that's something that is worth canceling about. But they're going to try to do it, and that's kind of bullshit. Gary Nealon is the Norton Shores mayor, and he writes this. So I happen to be the mayor of the city of Norton Shores, in which the Muskegon County Airport is located. We did not host nor invite President Trump to come here. He and his election team chose to come here, just like they have done for cities all over the country. The email I received this morning is unwarranted, uncalled for, and plain ignorant. Thanks, Pam Stevenson from Colorado, whoever you are, for confirming that this election is bringing out the worst in people. Plus, you used your work email. Your company must be so proud. Well, first of all, him writing, thanks, Pam Stevenson from Colorado, for confirming that this election is bringing out the worst in people. Well, yeah, you're going to contribute to that now, because you outing her like this is going to bring out the worst in people. So basically, you had the opportunity to end it by simply just reaching out to her and saying, we had nothing to do with that. But instead, you got butthurt, and you're now outing her and screenshotting her, which is this whole passive-aggressive thing. You're letting all the morons that see this do the heavy lifting for you. So you're just as much of an asshole. And he pointed out, made it quick he pointed out, yeah, and she used her work email. You might as well have just try to call yourself and try to get her fired. This is a total bitch move by the mayor of Norton Shores, Michigan, in my opinion. He got totally butthurt by this. And she's an asshole, no doubt, but does she deserve that? I don't think she does. She wrote this. I see your city hosted a Trump COVID super spreader rally. Brilliant, since the pandemic is spiking in your state. The rest of the country has finally given up on trying to educate you Midwest morons, and now we think it is the fastest way to thin the herd of ignorant Trumpanzees. So keep it up. The cherry on top was listening to those maskless douchebags chant to their fat orange god, lock her up, as a result of, this person wrote, retardo Trump suggesting your governor needs to open things back up, which sparked a failed kidnapping plot by more Midwest ignorant white supremacists. This would have been a good time for anyone with a single brain cell to have stepped in and put a stop to this vile rhetoric that the rest of the mentally sane country is witnessing. Are you Midwesterners really this retarded? I suppose this is what happens when you have sex with your own family and drink too much of your own moonshine. Good God. And you easily manipulated angry wackos walk among us. Yikes. Please build a wall around all of you to protect the rest of us hugs and giggles from someone with a brain. Now, I mean, I take that as, it's just some troll being an asshole. I mean, even if you did engage him and say, yeah, we had nothing to do with that. I mean, that's not going to do anything. This is what comes with the territory. And now, how are you going to feel now that everybody is trying to cancel her because she's got an opinion that is no more or less inflammatory than anybody on the other side of the aisle? And I don't think that anybody should be inflammatory for having an opinion that is, it's steeped in emotion and probably not at all true. Well, some of it actually is true. But, I think this is bullshit. This person wrote, you shouldn't have to deal with the silliness. Sorry, Gary, we know we have the best mayor, so everybody's running to his support. I can understand that. I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with her outing her like that. This guy goes ahead and is now doxing her. This person is going out of their way to talk about the company that she works for. You're seeing a full-on doxing taking place of this person, including the owner of the lab that this person works for. And so, when I posted the joke, when Bubba Wallace, all that horse shit about the noose, and I posted the meme of the tire iron that's shaped like a plus sign, the four-way tire iron, and it was a meme. It said, "Oh my God, burnt cross found in Bubba Wallace garage," which is hilarious. I posted that, and somebody reached out to Mr. DeVos and Mr. Van Andel about me being fired from the PA job with the Griffins, and it almost worked. Sure as shit, man. It rolls downhill fast, and they're coming after me, and it's like unbelievable. So I think that this is all fucking stupid. Who gives a shit that she wrote that? You're the mayor of the city. Let that shit slide. And now she has to deal with that. Hopefully, she's oh my God, look at this. They're showing like where she lives, what she all this. It's a full-on doxing that is taking place by this fucking mob. You all make me fucking sick. Ridiculous. Big fucking deal. She said that in this day and age, everybody's saying whatever the fuck they want in the first place. Just relax. So I think that this mayor is a total fuckhead for outing her. I think she's a fuckhead for having the opinion that she had, but who gives a shit? I mean, my God. It pisses me off. So that's basically it. Hopefully this lady in Colorado, her boss, doesn't fucking end her like that. I mean, seriously, come on. Give me a break, people. All right. Let's discuss the NASA nerds. Oh, this is so great. I love this so much. So the Osiris Rex is about the size of a car or a van. It's a spacecraft that we launched. You never heard of it. You never heard of it. You never heard of the asteroid that they landed it on. But you've got this big-ass asteroid that's flying around, and we wanted to, go ahead and get a sample of it. This is incredible to me that we have the computing power here on Earth to push a button and fly a spacecraft 200 miles away. Damn it, it's the second time I've done that. 200 million miles away. 200 million! The asteroid Bennu is enormous. It's about the size of the Empire State Building, as I indicated earlier, and it's what they describe as a rock pile asteroid. What happens in space is, over time, various bodies in the asteroid belt that is part of our solar system, through gravity, get pulled together, and then over time, they kind of just coalesce. And it gets bigger and bigger to being what it is. And this particular asteroid was formed only like 10 million years into the formation of the universe, which is remarkable. That is incredibly old. And so to be able to get a sample of what makes it, this 4.5 billion-year-old entity flying around through space. Somehow, we've managed to take a craft and fly it next to it by a very, very short distance and just orbit it as it goes around throughout the solar system. Think about that. For 2 years, the Osiris Rex has been flying next to this big-ass asteroid. Well, yesterday was the day that they had all the math done, and they decided to maneuver the craft just a few feet above it. They're right next to it, and it's hovering there. And then they lower a mechanical arm. They push a button, and this mechanical arm comes down to the surface of the planet. Then they push another button, and 18 minutes later, the order is executed because it takes that long to get to where they're 200 million miles away. And they have a CO2 canister that shoots high-pressure gas onto the surface of the planet, which kicks up a whole bunch of shit that's on there: dirt, dust, debris, rock, fragments, ice, whatever. And then they have a compartment on this arm that opens up and gathers it. Okay. And then and it's a very unstable terrain. And it took them 2 years to figure out a good parking spot. And quite literally on the surface of it, it's terrible. It's really tricky to land this big arm, put this arm down on it. And they found one spot about the size of a parking spot at a grocery store to do it. But they're very concerned that it could have gotten screwed up. It didn't work right. They didn't get a sample. But they're reasonably sure, this group of NASA nerds, that they have gotten this 4.5 billion year old space rock and dust from Asteroid Bennu. This is all incredible. Now, what does this mean? I have no idea. I don't know what it means, but this craft can actually, that is flying out in space, can actually analyze what is there and then send the information back. What this does is it tells you more about the origin of the universe, and I don't know what else more that they would get out of it other than just seeing that it's basically a lot of rock and dust and dirt and debris. But these nerds seem pretty happy. And one of my favorite things to do is to watch when NASA is doing it, and you have a control room of like 50 nerds. They're all probably rich as shit because they're all smart as shit, and they're all around computers, and all these wizards have come up with the plan to land the thing. And on NASA's website, they usually do like almost like a sporting event where they'll have two other nerds who are giving you the play-by-play of the moment, and then you get the reaction from the nerds as it happens.
Everybody seems happy.
Yeah. So I guess, there were obviously a lot of firsts in this mission. And there was a time when you said, a lot of what ifs, basically. What if we could actually send a spacecraft to an asteroid? What if we really could bring back a sample of the solar system from billions of years ago? Did you remember where you were when those what if questions?
MSA on OREX ops. OREX has descended below the 5-meter mark. The hazard map is go for tag. Contact expected in 50 seconds.
We're going in.
We're going in.
Touchdown declared.
Touchdown.
All right.
They're stoked.
Sampling is in progress.
It's actually getting the dirt right now.
Oh my gosh. We're there, folks. That was amazing. I don't know if you saw the team here, but they just kind of blew up. They went from being steely-eyed to like celebrating the Super Bowl. So it's all good. This is amazing. So congratulations, everybody. I know that Dante and Dr. Zabrukin are right here. And Dante, you somehow got over here pretty quick.
I sure did.
Congratulations. How you guys feeling?
Transcendental. I can't believe we actually pulled this off.
Transcendental.
But I'm so excited about the team. Hey, do you mind if I just bring up something?
Please.
Our friend Mike Drake is with us right now.
That's
the
right.
guy who came up with the mission at the beginning, and we're thinking of him. He's no longer on Earth, but I feel him right here.
I agree.
Oh,
He's with
died.
us today.
He died.
I know he's incredibly proud of this team and everything we have accomplished. This is history. It's amazing.
I can barely speak, I'm like shaking.
I wish they would say why this is so great. It's great because it's cool, but how does this help? What does this do?
It's overwhelming pride.
What is the goal here? Is it just to get dirt and find out that it's made of the same stuff on Earth?
Really have anything better to say about this group of people?
I'll say the systems I can confirm that the backaway burn is
OREX MSA on OREX ops. Sample collection is complete, and the backaway burn has executed.
Okay, and then they got to fly away like fucking George Jetson.
Now, Dante, that was actually a really important call. We were celebrating on the tag, but that was actually probably even more important call. Why is that?
The pyro bottle's fired, so tag SAM operated. The backaway thruster's fired, so we're safely moving away from the asteroid surface. The spacecraft did everything it was supposed to do. So we did it. We tagged the surface of the asteroid, and it's up to Bennu now to see how the event went.
What does this mean to NASA?
Oh, this is key milestone of this. Now it's a few days, right? To figure out how much we caught of this amazing sample that we're thinking about for decades. But I think this is just, I'm so proud of this.
You'd think that. You would think that with all of what they've been able to accomplish, we'd have a fucking microphone that works. How the fuck can you guys have shitty audio? If I can do this in my fucking living room or dormer.
Oh my goodness. Well, I got to tell you, this has been a fantastic day, a fantastic journey. We're so proud of both of you for being here and supporting that team.
They don't get into the practical applications of why this is so great. You know, you would think that that's the problem with nerds like this. They don't think like normal people. We're sitting there seeing something really cool, but you know, there's a lot of cool shit in the world. Tell me what it's going to do. I would love to know that. You know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astrophysicist. I wanted to be like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'll never forget it. You go to, and I was a horrible student growing up in my school age years. So I remember I was like in 8th grade or something like that. And they're preparing you for high school. So they sit there and they gauge your interests as to what type of, so that you can almost choose your classes when you get into high school based on your interests. And this was a different era. This is the 1980s. They would probably never do this now, but I was shitty at math because I didn't care. I was very bored, and it just, in effect, I was actually quite interested in math, but for some reason, it never really stuck with me at a young age. It wasn't until I got older. And I wanted to be an astrophysicist. I was like, I want to do this. I wanted to do what these people are doing right here. And I'll never forget the fucking teacher. He goes, "You're not smart enough to do that." And I'm like, what the fuck? And it was crushing. I'll never forget it. It stuck with me. I'm able to tell you this story right now. So clearly it was traumatic. I had a fucking adult tell me, "You're not smart enough to do that. Go into something else." And so I had to like pick something else. I don't know what the fuck to do. Luckily I found a radio station, but I wanted to do that shit. And some asshole talked me out of it. You would think that he would said, "Look, you can probably apply yourself a little better to actually have more better grades in math, but that's the key to everything is math. You're going to need to work on that, and if you want to do that." Instead, "You're not smart enough." Holy shit! Oh my God, crushing! Holy crap! All right, so there you go. That's your celestial excitement. That is brought to you by my friends at MB Distributing. They didn't ask for the sponsorship, but I just gave it to them. Mike Ball, who distributes Little Debbie products throughout your stores in West Michigan, because he's so annoyed when I talk about this cool shit. So there you go. Take that, Mike Ball. What do you think of that? All right. Okay. F45 Training, Byron Center. Love you guys very much. If you want to get in shape, that's where you do it. They are socially distanced. They are sanitized. They have half capacity. If you are in the community of Byron Center, Michigan, seek them out. Okay. In the Family Fair Shopping Center is F45 Training Byron Center, online at f45training.com/Byron Center. In fact, when you go to that website, you can click Start Free Trial, and there you go. You got 7 days free to try it out. This is a group training thing, 45 minutes of workout, and it's just fantastic group training with a personal touch. My plan is to get back there and do some training, but kind of what I indicated with the Great Legs thing and with the Harbor Humane, I'm just pulling all those things back for now. But that's just because of what happened with my mother and with the kidney thing. So I just want to lay low for a little bit. But still, F45training.com. They are open for business based on all of the guidelines that they can have in this great state of Michigan. Thank you, F45 Training. And then there's Mario. We cannot forget about Mario. Big, bold, bad Mario Flores from the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. NMLS number 3035. If you need a mortgage, please call on Mario. He is fantastic. He will work tirelessly for you, whether it is your first mortgage, your 10th mortgage, whatever it may be. Thank you, Mario. And reach out to him. It's so simple to do. I have his desk phone number. It is 231-332-6505. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Okay. Believe it or not, I am putting the finishing touches on this one today. I again, thank you so much for being part of it, supporting the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and wherever you download podcasts. If you could, leave me a review on the audio podcast. Throw some stars at me. Throw a review at me. Tell me what you think. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much. All right. From right here in the studio I appreciate you. I'll be back with my Patreon in just a little while. Till then, I'll talk to you down the road. Thanks. Bye-bye.